Richard Southern joins us now for a look at some of the day's top business stories. A company many of us are familiar with is about to go public, and investors won't be treating this stock like trash.
No, it's, you know what they say, Erica, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. It's very true in this case. It's the company contracted to collect a lot of Toronto's garbage, at least in the West End. You've seen those green trucks. It's GFL Environmental, and they're going public on Bay Street. This is what they call an initial public offering, where you can start to buy stock in the company. And it's a big one. They're looking to raise $2.1 billion. It could be the biggest initial public offering on Bay Street since 2004. Back in 2011, you may remember this, GFL won a 7-year contract to collect garbage for about 165,000 Toronto homes in West Toronto. This was a push through by the late mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford. They also operate, though, in Windsor and in Halifax. And you know, Erica, there's big money in garbage these days. Waste Management is the biggest collector in the United States, and their stock on Wall Street has tripled. So you know, humans are good at creating a lot of garbage, and there are people profiting off of that.
That's huge. All right. It's something we try to avoid when we're at the beach. But, Richard, the food industry keeps finding new uses for seaweed.
You're going to see seaweed in all sorts of things. You already are starting to see it in all sorts of things, Erica. There are hot sauces hitting the market now featuring seaweed as a big component. Seaside Gin is an award-winning gin out of BC. It has seaweed in it. There is vegan jerky now out made with seaweed. You're also finding it in teas and in sauerkraut. It's replacing plastic in some food packaging. It has a lot of uses. And you're seeing more of it because it's easy to grow. It can grow a foot a day. Research says as well it can absorb 20 times as much carbon dioxide per acre as a forest. And it's growing a lot in water now because water temperatures are higher, so it's very favorable growing conditions. So we're familiar with it when we go out for, I guess, Japanese food, right, Erica? Do you like the seaweed salad?
I love seaweed. I'm here for this story. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good for you, too, so this is kind of a good news story.
Better for the environment. We're getting a clearer picture tonight of the growing gap between the rich and the poor.
Yeah, another one. I mean, there's a lot of these reports out, and, you know, there's representing the rich, I suppose, one of the richest men in the world, Mark Zuckerberg. But get this, the total amount of global wealth in 2019 grew by $360 trillion, and owning 44% of the total wealth in the world now is the millionaires. Millionaires own almost half of the world's wealth. And there are, according to this new report, 46.8 million millionaires. Many of the new ones are in emerging markets. China now has a cohort of 100 million individuals who are in the top 10% of global wealth distribution. So, you know, Erica, what's the takeaway from this? We hear all sorts of reports about wealth inequality, and I think we're starting to see it sort of manifest itself in different ways. Populist leaders getting elected, that might have something to do with anger about wealth inequality. Even the protests in Hong Kong, an element of that might have to do with the young people there working hard but not being able to afford a home. The wealth inequality showing up in all sorts of ways.
It's crazy. All right, before we go, Richard, you've got a quick look at gas prices and some of the other stories you'll be bringing us later in the show.
Yeah, we're expecting the price of gas to go up 1 cent at midnight tonight, according to Enpro International. And please do stick around, Erica, because just after 6:30, we're going to talk to a Toronto pub, a popular one, who has changed its name because of political correctness. You're not going to want to miss this after 6:30.
Can't wait. All right, thank you. We'll see you again in the next hour.
Thank you.